Trump demonstrates he's not purchased by big pharma in reducing the prescription prices. It's the biggest announcement of the year. He says it's the most significant thing that he could have done this year. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Look, speaking of prescription drugs, I'm getting my stitches out from the doctor from my pre-cancer surgery. I've had to use some medical. I'm happy to see the prices come down. Are you? Here's Trump's announcement on Twitter. For many years, the world has wondered why prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals in the United States of America were so much higher in price than they were in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive for the same drug manufactured in the same laboratory or plant by the same company. It was always difficult to explain and very embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answer. The pharmaceutical drug companies would say for years it was the research and development costs. And I have repeated that to my audience, you guys, and that all of the costs were and would be for no reason whatsoever borne by the suckers of America alone. Campaign contributions can do wonders, but not with me. This is what I mean by he's not bought and sold by pharma, and not with the Republican Party. Well, kind of. We are going to do the right thing, something that the Democrats have fought for many years. Therefore, I am pleased to announce that tomorrow morning in the White House at 9 a.m., that's this morning, I will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. Prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 30 to 80%. They will rise throughout the world in order to equalize and, for the first time in many years, bring fairness to America. I will be instituting a most favored nations policy whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world.
Brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up and he said, President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London. And I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. He said, I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on?
Our country will finally be treated fairly, and our citizens' health costs will be reduced by numbers never even thought of before. Additionally, on top of everything else, the United States will save trillions of dollars. Thank you for your attention, matter, making America great again. And guys, so I checked the stock markets this morning after Trump's announcement that we're ending those, that we're doing a temporary hold on those China tariffs. Stock market is going to blow up, but not for big pharma. With this announcement, big pharma is going to absolutely crash.
But starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. We're subsidizing others' health care. Countries where they paid a small fraction of what, for the same drug, that what we pay many, many times more for, and will no longer tolerate profiteering and price gouging.
And that's good news, in my view, because the Justice Department is accusing 3 of the largest health insurers of paying illegal kickbacks to major insurance brokers, and we need to send them to prison.
Breaking news, the Department of Justice has just filed a complaint accusing 3 of the largest health insurers of paying illegal kickbacks to major insurance brokers in exchange for steering patients into insurers' Medicare Advantage plans. The DOJ accusing CVS's Aetna, Elevance Health, and Humana of paying kickbacks to brokers. eHealth, GoHealth, and SelectQuote. The Justice Department said that rather than acting in an unbiased manner and in the best interest of patients, the brokers directed Medicare beneficiaries to plans offered by insurers that paid them the most in kickbacks. And of course,
criminal. Democrats, by the way, mostly. Now, we've uncovered a lot of this health insurance scam stuff through Doge. It's Doge that really opened all this up. They're going to expose all of the money that's getting kicked back from healthcare. We're going to hear from RFK Jr. But first, here's
like the fact that everyone's freaking out so much about the fact that these books might be opened. We might actually be able to look and see what you're spending our money on and then maybe even roll some of it back. Yep. And you see the freak out from people. I really enjoy watching the people spaz out over it. Because just look at what they're reduced to arguing. But if you just really zoom out and think about Doge and the reaction to it, the US federal government, biggest organization in the history of the world, spends more money than anybody else in the history of the world and has accumulated more debt than any other organization in the history of the world. And as soon as anybody even suggests modest cuts or even just opening the books, everyone in this town loses their freaking mind and says it's going to be the end of the world. And that, in fact, this is the corruption. The corruption is opening the books. The corruption is cutting any government spending. Think about for a second.
They don't want you to look. They don't want all this stuff to come to light. And here's RFK Jr. bringing it to light with Big Pharma.
Today, over 100 members of Congress support a bill to fund Ozempic with Medicare at $1,500 a month. Most of these members have taken money from the manufacturer of that product, a European company called Novo Nordisk. As everyone knows, once a drug is approved for Medicare, it goes to Medicaid. And there's a push to recommend Ozempic for Americans as young as 6 over a condition, obesity, that is completely preventable and barely even existed 100 years ago. Since 74% of Americans are obese, the cost of all of them, if they take their Ozempic prescriptions, will be $3 trillion a year. This is a drug that has made Novo Nordisk the biggest company in Europe. It's a Danish company, but the Danish government does not recommend it. It recommends a change in diet to treat obesity and exercise. Virtually Novo Nordisk's entire value is based upon its projections of what Ozempic is going to sell to Americans. For half the price of Ozempic, we could purchase regeneratively raised organic agriculture, organic food for every American, 3 meals a day, and gym membership for every obese American. Why are members of Congress doing the bidding of this Danish company instead of standing up for American farmers and children? Because Novo Nordisk is one of the largest funders of medical research, the media and politicians and the medical schools all go along.
Indicts the experts, the media, the government, and Big Pharma. Which would you rather do? I have obese people in my audience. I know lots of obese people. Would you rather have the government pay for your Ozempic prescription? Or would you rather have the government pay for you to have 3 organically grown meals a day and pay for a gym membership? Which would you rather have? Let me know in the comments below. One of them sounds very healthy and one of them sounds very suspect. Now, Democrats funneled $1.3 billion per day to NGOs after Kamala Harris lost. This is part of how they're hiding money. This has loosely to do with Big Pharma because of the NGOs, but here's the exposure. First time we've shown this on the show.
A little over $40 billion was supplied in support through the Loan Program Office in its 15 years of existence, a little over 40 billion, and then almost 100 billion in the 76 days after they lost the election and before President Trump's inauguration. Like, if those were great ideas that were benefit to the America, why didn't they do it in the 2.5 years after the Inflation Reduction Act was passed?
That's as soon as Kamala Harris lost the election, they took $1.3 billion and shoved it out the door to all their quack, crazy things that the Democrats fund.
Why did they wait till they lost the election? They changed terms and loan covenants. They basically tried to set bombs to make it hard for us to unwind the mess they'd created. That's just not a responsible way to treat American taxpayer money and to move our energy system forward. So yes, we've stepped into a lot of mess, but this stuff's all fixable. We've got an aggressive team going after it. And you see already American energy prices are down, investments in America to bring jobs back are up. So I think we're going the right direction, but yeah, we've got a lot to clean out.
Including medical, but Trump's doing that with the lower prescription drug prices. Who else is on the take? Look, here's Bernie Sanders. Remember, he's always like, the oligarchs, the oligarchs. Top 20 member recipients of money from pharmaceuticals, health products from 2019 to 2020. There's Bernie Sanders with $1.4 million. Even Bernie is bought and sold. That's a typical form of Democrat corruption. Republicans, much less. They are still taking some, but none as much as the Democrats. And that's why Bernie Sanders opposed RFK Jr. being appointed. All of these corrupt health scams, all these corrupt pharmaceuticals, big media, they're all in bed together. And that's why I'm going to keep bringing up how deep this corruption goes. Shout out to the Quad Club. Let me know in the comments below if you watched all 4 videos today and left a comment and gave us a thumbs up. I can't thank you guys enough for your support. I'm Doug in Exile. Stitches out today.